Good morning and welcome to the Sports Update Show. Welcome to Vic and Vern Sports Chat. I'm Vic. Hope you guys are all doing well this morning. Some people are doing better than others. Now, pain is under control at the moment. It's starting to get better. It's starting to get better. So we're back to normal time at 7 o'clock in the morning and not 10:30 in the morning like yesterday. Hope you're all doing well. Lots to get into this morning. Let's start. Start at the beginning, as I say. We're going to talk about some football transfers. That's going to come a little bit later. Major League Baseball, WNBA. We've got some cricket. We'll talk about some rugby. And then a little bit of what's coming up next on the channel and stuff like that. So, that's kind of the preview of what's going to happen today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and do share the content with your friends and family. It's much appreciated. As you can see, we're at 79,155. Only a few hundred to go, and then we had 80,000. Wouldn't that be great if we could hit 80,000 this weekend? So keep on liking and subscribing. But let's get straight into the Major League Baseball and all the results of yesterday. Lots of games yesterday, and those three on the second, I will have a look at those scores. They were not finished by the time I put the stuff up, so we'll have a check of that in 1 second. So the Phillies, they lost to the Reds 6-1. The Twins got hammered by the Yankees 9-1. The Tigers lost 6-9 against the White Sox. The Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates lost 14-0 to the Brewers. The Nationals lost to the Royals 5-8. The Rockies beat the Cardinals 3-0. The Diamondbacks beat the Rangers 3-2, and the Red Sox walloped, destroyed, annihilated the Astros 14-1. Before we get to the second half, I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of runs that have been scored this year. I think this must be a Major League Baseball record year. I'm going to have to do some research on that because there's been a hell of a lot of runs this year. I've never seen so many runs scored in the Major League Baseball. But before we go on, let me just go see if I can get those live scores for you quickly because those games were not finished when I was putting the stuff up a few minutes ago. So let's have a look. Major League Baseball, let's go to the scores quickly. See what happens there. So what are we looking for? We're looking for, that should be at the bottom there. Okay, all right, so we can get into that. So the Dodgers lost to the Angels 6-7. The Padres beat the Giants 5-1. And the Athletics beat the Rays 6-0. So those games are done. Then the Mariners beat the Orioles 1-0. Marlins lost to the Guardians 3-4. The Cubs lost to the Blue Jays 1-5, and the Mets in a big high-scoring game beat the Braves 13-5. So a lot of scores going on. Look, it's going into the final stretch here of the Major League Baseball season. Only about 35-40 games to go, and that goes quite quickly. That's basically 6 weeks, and the baseball season goes into the playoffs. So that should be interesting. And because the season is so far ahead, I thought I'd look a little bit into the batting leaders. We'll get into the pitchers tomorrow. So the best batting average in the Major League Baseball is Aaron Judge from the New York Yankees. He's got a 337 average, followed by Jeremy Pena and Jonathan Aranda. So those are the top three there. Home runs, most home runs is by Kyle Riley. He has 45 ahead of Cal Riley ahead of Kyle Schwartzber, and Shohei Ohtani with 42, Aaron Judge with 38. Then runs batted in. That's also very important if you don't know what baseball is. Those are the hits that other people score the runs, but you basically made a good hit for that, and that is again Cal Riley at top there. But it's all the same at the top of the leaderboard. Eugene Suarez is there. Aaron Judge. So those are the top hitters of the league this year. So we'll get into the pitchers tomorrow and see who's had the most wins and the most saves and stuff like that. So that is your Major League Baseball wrap-up. Then don't forget this afternoon at 5 o'clock, we'll have the big DEFCON rugby show. A lot of rugby today. 2 programs coming on today. I'll get into that. At 5 o'clock, we'll have the DEFCON. We'll have a look at the big decisions ahead of these 4 men here, the 4 coaches of the rugby championships. We have Mr. Schmidt, Razor, Rassi, and I can't remember the man's name there from Argentina. Somebody will tell me in the chat in a second. Hi, Ryan. I see Ryan is in the chat there this morning as well. Well, Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Then don't forget, we will have our big Rugby Championship sneak peek tonight. I think that's going to go live at 6, so an hour after the DEFCON Rugby show. We'll get into real detail on the Rugby Championships, all the games coming up. I mean, every game will be live on our channel. Don't worry about that. But we'll give our predictions a little bit. Where do we see possible slip-ups for every team? So check that out. And because that, I put out a poll on our community page. Who's going to win the Rugby Championships? I copied this poll when I did it, so no one has voted there yet. But I see we're about 50, 60 votes in already. And it's a tight race between the Springboks and the All Blacks, with Wallabies and Argentina bringing up the rear. So please go check that out. There's a lot of polls on that community page. Go check out and vote. Then we move into the ladies sports and the WNBA. There were 2 games yesterday and 2 games last night and a game yesterday that I didn't do. The Wings beat the Fever 81-80. The Liberty beat the Sparks 105-97, and the Sun got thrashed 57-74 by the Valkyries. WNBA also hotting up, going into the final stages. Their playoffs will be starting soon. So let's have a look at the stat leaders on the offensive end of the top scorer on points is Napasia Collier. She's scoring 23.5 a game, ahead of Asia Wilson with 22.2. Kelsey Plum up there as well. Kelsey Mitchell up there as well. If your name's Kelsey, you're up there. Huh? Then assists, Eliza Thomas from Phoenix is the top assist person at the moment, ahead of Courtney Williams and Kelsey Plum. And 3 points made, Kyla McBride, the top 3-point player there. People would say, where's Caitlin Clark? Well, she hasn't played enough games, I think, because she's missed many games to injury, so she's not in the stats. Then on the defensive side, of course, you have Angel Reeves with the most rebounds at 12.6, followed by Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson, the best block lady with blocks with 2.1. Look, let's put it this way. I think Asia Wilson's going to win the MVP again this season, because she's just on every stat she's there and she's doing really well. So that is your WNBA. Don't forget the playoffs start off there. Then NBA, they announced the opening games of the season. All starts on the 21st of October. And the Warriors take on the Lakers on opening night, and the Rockets and the Thunder will battle on opening night. So that should be very interesting. Kevin Durant now at the Rockets. They named some of the good. There's a fantastic lineup on Christmas Day. They've named the Christmas Day games. I'll give it to you on a later date, but there's some really good Christmas Day games. So, after you've eaten your good Christmas dinner, watch a little bit of NBA. Should be exciting. So let's move on to that big block of today, the transfer news. And as I started off yesterday, just getting into the spirit of it, we did Chelsea and Arsenal yesterday. We'll do 3 teams today, and then we'll do 4 teams tomorrow, because it always gets less interesting because the big boys aren't there anymore. So don't forget. And don't forget our Premier League preview show. That's going to be tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. That should be exciting. We're going to give you all our insights on who do we think champions, Champions League, Euro League, Conference League, relegation, who wins the Golden Boot, who's going to be the surprise team in a positive way, who's going to be the surprise team in a negative way. We'll get into all of that. But let's go into it. We did Arsenal and Chelsea yesterday. So let's have a quick look at Liverpool. What's in and what's out at Liverpool. Liverpool doing a lot of business this summer. Of course, the big one was Florian Wirtz. They brought him in for 125 million euros. Then Hugo Ekitike for 80 million. Milos Kerkez for 46 million. Jeremy Frimpong for another 40 million. And a young reserve goalkeeper named Armin Pesis for 2 million. So, yeah, that's what they brought in. Obviously, look, Luis Diaz went off to Bayern for 70 million. Darwin Núñez went for 53 million to Al Hilal. Gerald Kwanzaa left for Leverkusen. Kelleher left for Brentford. Morton left for Lyon. Trent Alexander-Arnold, they still got 10 million for him. He left for Real Madrid. So, yeah, and of course, we all know that the tragic loss that they had. Obviously, Diego Jota's not there anymore. Him and his brother, Andre, obviously died in that car crash. Very sad. But if you look at that, Liverpool, everybody says, wow, they spent a lot of money. No, they haven't. If you look at that, they've spent around about 280 million. But they've taken in around about, 70, 80, 90, 100, And they've taken in about 180 million. So net spent, they've only spent about 100 million net only. I mean, you know, the numbers these days are crazy. I just need a sip here quickly. But good business from Liverpool, and they're not finished. I mean, they still want Alexander Isaac, Mark Gay is on their list. So Liverpool very, very busy. Then a team I think is going to be very interesting to watch this year is going to be Man City. I think they're going to bounce back. It's been quite a quiet transfer window from Man City's standards. They brought in Reinders from AC Milan for 55, Al Nouri for 36 million, Ryan Cherky for Olympic Lyon. I think he's an exciting player for 36 million. Then they brought in that reserve goalkeeper in Trafford for 31 million. And Naipan from Rosenborg, I think he's just a prospect with 15 million. Not a lot of going outs there. I mean, yeah, Couto left for 20 million to Dortmund, and Perrone for 13 million to Como. Kevin De Bruyne left on a free transfer. Can they catch that one? Kyle Walker's off to Burnley. Jack Grealish on loan to Everton. So, yeah, look, if you compare now their net spend, I think they've net spend more than Liverpool, because the outgoings haven't been there. And we'll get into my club, Manchester United, quickly. Now, this is the team that has spent the most money, net spend, because we don't get any money on anything going out. I mean, let's have a look at that. Weatherly went out on a loan. Rashford went out on a loan. Lindelof, Eriksen, Evans all went on a free transfer. Will be interesting to see what Manchester United gets for Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho. You know, we'll see. Maybe. But at the moment, it doesn't look bad. But I'm very happy with the incomings. I mean, of course, Benjamin Sesko, Brian Mbeumo, and Cunha, very good signings. And I think a lot of people are underestimating Diego Leon. I think he's going to be a sensational player. We just got to give him a little bit of time. But I think United bought well up front. I think still we need a new goalkeeper and a good central midfielder, and maybe another central defender. Upamecano has been talked about. We'll see that Donnarumma has been talked about, but we'll see what happens. So that's kind of the lookout on those three teams. Tomorrow we'll take Newcastle, Tottenham, Everton, and Aston Villa will be out there tomorrow. So if you're a fan of one of those, check us out tomorrow. We'll talk about that. Then, hey, I didn't forget. There was some cricket yesterday, and South Africa beat Australia. Good day, mates, by 53 runs. Put out the stats there for you guys. Brevis had 125 not out, so he batted well there. Good bowling from the South Africans. Yeah, nothing very exciting there from the Aussies. The best was Tim David with 50. So yeah, good result there for South Africa after their terrible series there with Zimbabwe and New Zealand, where New Zealand just dominated that series. Good bounce back for the Proteas. Then our second game of the day, it was Pakistan against the West Indies, and the West Indies win again. The West Indies are starting to rack up some wins here. This series is tied 1-1. Good game there from the West Indies. Have a look at those stats. No one really shone with the bats. No one really shone with the ball, but a tight game. That was an ODI. That means it was a 50 overs was reduced to the Duck-Lewis method once again. So, must have been some monsoon there in Pakistan. I don't know where that was in Pakistan. It was probably in Karachi or Islamabad or something like that. So we'll check that out. So that was your cricket for today. So don't forget, hey, join us this afternoon at 5 o'clock for the DEFCON Rugby Show. It's going to be interesting. And then straight afterwards at 6 o'clock, the big one, the Insight, the Rugby Championships. We're going to go through everything in the Rugby Championships. Check out all that. Just because I saw Ryan was in the chat, the next Formula One race is only at the end of August. Got a little bit of a summer break, It's so exhausting driving around in circles. I mean, the last two races, they basically had a day off with all the rain and stuff like that. I mean, come on. NASCAR will be up on the weekend again. MotoGP's coming back. IndyCar is going to be out there. Formula E's out there. A lot of stuff coming. And then, of course, this weekend, the big Premier League season starts. Live Liverpool against Bournemouth here on the channel on Friday night. And then, of course, Manchester United against Arsenal on Sunday. But you guys, thank you for joining me this morning. Fantastic. Quarter of an hour. Perfect. You guys enjoy your day, stay safe, and we'll see each other at 5 o'clock. Ciao, guys.